Attention gamers. Imagine you've just started playing League again because your life was just going slightly too well again and you wanted to play some Lux as your last 3 paychecks went straight to buying her overpriced skins, and then this happens. It's 25 minutes into the game, this is a full damage Pantheon and you are a squishy mage and you are probably thinking you are about to disappear faster than a fart at a fan factory, but not anymore. His full rotation nearly tickles you before you are up in this turn-based poke battle, as it looks like your titty lasers are still super effective against him, and that's because tank Lux is now a thing. With the build you are about to witness, you can achieve almost 5k health with 600 armor and 11,000 magic resist while having enough AP to still channel that girl power and step on these simps while healing and merely laughing at these clowns. So how does it work? Well, the best way to explain it is to let the guy or girl who discovered it do all the talking, so everyone meet Yozu. I don't know who this is, but that doesn't mean you don't have to either, so check this person out. I guess they look at Lux's tatas more often than most, and so they are definitely credible. You build this new BS item with Conqueror rune because it does some weird healing stuff, then you rip this combination of items with these runes, lots of random details, blah blah blah, play the game, and voila, you've now just discovered the second best way to get fed.
But Rav, then what's the best way to get fed?
Why yes, random internet boy, the best way to get fed is with Factor, the sponsor of today's video. Picture this: you just finished a super productive session on the Rift and now it's meal time, but all you had was a half-eaten banana, a rotting avocado, and the thing at the end of a bread loaf that looks like it got autofilled as bread and is just waiting to go next. It's no secret gamers have bad eating habits, but a lot of smart nerds on the internet have shown that your mood and performance is directly related to consistently eating good foods. So if you are like me and refuse to cook, you can either pay more for Uber Eats delivery than the meal itself, or use Factor. Factor is an easy-to-use weekly meal plan that lets you pick healthy, tasty meals depending on the type of diet you want to follow. I choose Protein Plus because I'd like to own a bicep one day, and then I pick how many meals I want and bam, it's done. Then good fully cooked meals show up to my door that I can just pop in the micro wizzy and have ready in minutes to consume between my super successful solo queue sessions. It's flexible, cheap, and healthy, which is everything I need as a gamer, and so I highly recommend you try it out. So scan the QR code or use the link below with code POGRAVJAN50 to get 50% off your first box today. Alright, so I chose to play top lane because I'm a tank after all, only to get matched up against some certified asshole who is all like I can't win a lane, so I play Pantheon so I can rub cheese on my nipples at level 2 and pretend I'm good, and I left this clip in here instead of editing it out like I do with all my other deaths that I'm embarrassed of, just to show how far I will come with this build. But the first step is getting there, and to do that I had to realize that this bake me a cake little bitch is gonna be more aggro than a drunk stepfather, and I would need to cha-cha slide to the left at the perfect time and he would be all like, "Fuckle." That said, it was early and this baking soda covered cockhead was still pissing in the tall grass and then jumping out to shake it off on me, which resulted in close calls. But Pantheons like this are all the same, it's just a personality type and it's only a matter of time before they outplay themselves. You deny their jackass jester a chance to clean it up and then wait for what's known as a counter gank to claim your assist.
Okay. Play hella safe.
And that's exactly what I was gonna do until Cosmic Anime Kane was in the area to check the weeds for this spear shot enthusiast, only to get his wall hacking ass handed to him. But if I'm gonna be 100% real with you guys, I didn't even cry when my friend died. I actually was happy because it meant I would get the kill for myself.
K.
But the thing is, we both knew this weaponized bakery janitor would just continue to try and bush cheese me while focusing more on all chat than warding, so of course my jungler was gonna stick to my lane like Jizz sticks to Dante's teddy bears, and this kill went much smoother than the last. He kept visiting me and clearly my lane opponent's intelligence was still proofing that's a joke that bakers will get, as I could just bait him into the river and then reap the benefits of being giga hard stuck in an elo full of absolute donkeys. I finished the first 2 items in my Lux tank guide and decided to celebrate with a vacation down south, because word on the street was that I could sit back and watch while throwing one yo-yo baton at my homeboy to get an assist and I'd get paid. Then I would continue following the action like it was an Instagram account that posts nice ass pics and just wait for my opportunity to nab another sniper range sack of cash. But we had to go back to base because Baker Boy and his butt buddy were pushing harder than a man who stuck cement up his asshole, and despite the aggressive all chatter paying my tuition all laning phase, he was still able to abuse my less than accommodating teammates. But that was cool with me because it meant more wealth to my name.
Why does that detonate so fast, NWO?
My Akali was continuing to prove that everyone who plays the champ thinks in 360p, but not to fear. Tank Lux was here, and no matter how many times this clown cloned himself and continued to try and lick her asshole, I would be there to serve him light beams 9 ways until he pissed off. I stuck around mid because even though I don't know what Aphilio's big bro does yet, I do know he dies the same way other champs do, and then I completed the new tanky item, which was just in time for this fed fuckface to think he's gonna pull one over on me just to do next to nothing before getting insta-baked and delivered back to base. This game took place in silver, which meant at 25 minutes it was now a ram, and Silas decided to steal my identity, which wasn't gonna turn out good for us. But eventually I exploited him for fraud, and then I took out the remaining frustration on this fleeing Legolas fanboy who thought being in Fountain zip code would save him. Then I was like, okay, you guys jerk off the giant flailing dick in river since you are used to doing that IRL, and I will set up an elaborate game of surprise you're a dead bitch on 2 chains. Then the rest of you can chase them away without actually accomplishing anything, and I will flash this dude, but not in the way his pervy ass would have wanted. At this point I broke 4k health, so I definitely didn't need to be playing behind walls like this. And eventually I did get a little closer to the action to bail out Professor Akali before lobbing a ball of light at this handcuffed Fabio. I then knew that this naive bot lane who were 4 to 5 levels lower than me didn't stand a popsicle's chance in a house fire of crossing paths with me and surviving to tell their stupid bot lane playing grandkids about it one day. Poor Pantheon was still under the impression that he could one-shot me like he's done with many Luxes in the past, but I'm not that girl, and even though my support was still getting blown up like a sex doll, I was welcoming guests into my melee range, as this build makes you emit pheromones that damage others while healing you, and apparently making clowns play the game like they are hallucinating on acid, while being beefy enough to stay healthy during hard times. Anger management Duff Goldman here was now stacking Amar like he was playing a match 3 game, but he still went down. We all got to watch the spectacle of Akali player decision making one more time before I cleaned up a fight where enemies didn't even want to try and kill my almost 5k HP traveling light show anymore, and with that, game 1 actually felt broken with this build. I decided to try it mid, as this is where the indigenous of Luxes live, and unfortunately this cotton candy hair Katarina was more passive than an introvert at a house party, so I had to resort to third-wheeling others' dates to get any source of income early in life. Someone must have pulled a cruel joke on their jungler and told him there was cigars and other contraband in our forest, because he was dead set on finding it, only to strike out a few times. Turns out Kat may have been shy with me, but the second she was around an NBA player she was acting like she'd do anything in her power to fuck him, which was off-putting and really just made me want to leave the situation. Graves was continuing to strike out on his nicotine hunt, and I was thinking, is this how tobacco companies feel, as his crippling addiction that was clearly killing the man was actually continuously putting money in my pocket? I was now more pushed up than my character's tits in this K-pop outfit when Sir Spin to Win came in, trying to ball tap this cosmic scrotum of a support who hit an absolutely clutch freeze frame that delayed his death by like 2 seconds before we cleaned it up, and I learned that Katarina was somehow now fed as fuck, which long story short meant that she would be worth some extra coins. Graves was now so gaslit himself about the ciggies that he was convincing others to go looking for them as well, and I was starting to love being on this side of the tobacco industry. Their ADC was casually losing a 1v1 to our fucking support, so I decided to steal the kill with a laser so that he could at least tell his friends there was a mid laner there too when he died. But at the same time, the next run-in I had with the map less Star Guardian Ellen DeGeneres, I pretty much ran into melee range to test out the tanky burn in a safe environment, aka around an ADC, and it felt nice. And I've gotta say, I really do think Tank Lux is going to be a thing. I still had the burst to abruptly stop this bitch's spinning, but then when anyone would come in trying to reprimand me, I would take so little damage while also healing in random spurts to buy me time for both my cooldowns to come back and my BFFs to RSVP hells yes to the bail rav out and murder some hoes party, as the second game went just as well as the first, if not better, so please like the video and let me know below what other builds are secretly OP right now. Rav out.